Welcome, guys, to Trading Card Talk. Today, we are going to be talking about influencers and famous names, talking about Pokemon.
Yeah, extremely famous in some circumstances.
So we'll be doing a reaction video.
Yeah, pretty much.
There will also be a GradedGem update, and that is right at the end of this video, timestamp below. However, we are just going to jump straight into this.
Right, so, some of the biggest names in the world right now are
Yeah,
talking about Pokemon.
So let's press the react button.
And we have
Oh.
Mr. Logan Paul. I mean, there's a couple of other people here, but I mean, the big name there.
And
is
straight
on the
away, I see
screen.
a squirrel. Straight away.
Yeah, he's got something over his eye, but let's listen to what Logan's got to say.
I'll drink the second one.
You're collecting them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have such a crazy collection of stuff.
Do you collect Pokemon cards?
No, I never got Pokemon. I have a lot of baseball cards though.
Do you guys collect Pokemon cards?
He's just obsessed.
I may have just dropped 60 grand on Pokemon cards.
Right, let's just pause that right there. Because $60,000.
It's not an insignificant amount of money.
No, I mean, that's, a deposit for over a $500,000 house.
Yeah, but even for this guy, who's as rich as he is,
Yeah.
it's not an insignificant amount of money.
I mean, he did have a couch that was worth 70 grand, two of them that were worth 70 grand. But I get what you're saying. Even for famous, like £60,000 or $6,000
Yeah.
is, you don't not think about that purchase.
Yeah. He's obviously put thought into it, and the fact that he's just, I loved how, did you see the scene when the guy was like, I collect baseball cards, and he went, okay.
Yeah,
He was like,
cool
nah.
story. bro.
Yeah, he just cut it off. Right, what's the next one? Let's have a
Yeah,
look.
so we've got a bit more of what Logan was talking about just here.
That's amazing. So you've always loved Pokemon?
My whole life.
Your whole life. Okay, so it's not like a new quarantine obsession.
I've always loved Pokemon. I was 23 years old. I decided to get a squirrel tattooed next to my.
Well, we
Like,
can bleep
I
that
knew
out.
this. I knew, guys. I said this is for me. And then all of a sudden, I started looking at cards now, and the holographics are so shiny. Going for the first edition's full set, man.
I love that.
PSA 10s like perfect mint condition, and apparently they're appreciating. But
Right. So we've got a few things to talk about there, don't we?
Yeah, so Logan Paul, for the guys who don't know, had a big fight with KSI. How many subscribers has he got?
Logan Paul has more subscribers than you can imagine.
Okay,
it's a ridiculous amount. That's the Impulsive podcast. His podcast that goes out to the world, one of the biggest podcasts, if not the biggest podcast in the world.
And he's openly talking about how he's obsessed with Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And not just Pokemon cards, holographic first edition PSA 10s. Serious stuff.
Yeah.
This isn't like going to buy a new
Darkness
set.
Ablaze,
Yeah,
pack at
yeah.
a shop.
He has named the cards, which are the important ones, which takes a bit of research straight away.
Yeah.
The amount of people we have telling us, oh, we've got first edition cards, and they're not. They're unlimited. Like, that takes a bit of
Or
research.
evolutions in some cases, yeah.
Yeah, like, he knows about the hobby. He obviously is huge as an influencer. Like, there's not many bigger.
No, I mean, Logan Paul isn't just YouTube either. Like, it's film, TV, everything you can imagine, music.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Boxing.
just YouTube. Boxing as well, yeah, for all the boxing fans that loved the fight that happened last year.
But the fact a guy with such deep pockets as him
Yeah.
is investing or acquiring these
Yeah.
items, if that guy goes, right, I want to drop however much money on a base set first edition or any other set, he could just go out and buy it.
Well, he literally said they're appreciating.
Yes.
They're an asset. Everyone knows that those kind of cards are an asset.
And if he's collecting them, how many people are watching that video going, oh, I want to collect them? Or even better,
Oh, they've got the cards.
or even the people in his circle,
Yeah.
if they're like, oh, wow, he's collecting them. It's like schoolyard stuff, isn't it? Oh, my best mate's collecting this Pokemon card, so therefore I want to collect it too, so I can be just as cool. Okay, that was big.
That was pretty big. Now, if we want to go for a slightly bigger name, I know it's ridiculous, than Logan Paul. How about a man who started off with a song called Baby?
Oh,
Right?
Bieber.
So this is Mr. Justin Bieber. It's from Instagram, his Instagram story. So we can just play this.
It's me the other day. Check it. All the Pokemons, first generation. Don't come at me.
Well, first of all, the first thing I've got to say is, Justin, why are they not in order? Like, they're not in order, I can see that. I think you started off with a Mewtwo by the looks of it. However,
I think this is amazing representative of, look what they're in.
yeah, they're
in a
in a
frame.
frame. They're not PSA graded.
But they're hung up.
Yeah.
Now, what do we know about antiques and art?
They expensive.
in certain cases. Now, if this guy, little guy, Justin Bieber,
Yeah.
is treating his cards as if they're pieces of art or antiques or something
Well,
to be
Justin
collected.
Bieber can afford any art he wants.
Yeah, but he's gone for Pokemon
Yeah.
cards.
That's what I mean.
Very interesting.
I mean, he probably would like the GradedGem HQ background. I'm just saying.
On next week's trading card talk. But I mean, that's interesting that he's got them up there instead of some $200,000 art piece. Like,
Yeah.
it's interesting that he's gone, this is cooler to me, this is more relevant to me. And he's put that on his Instagram story. I love it how it is closet don't hate me.
Yeah.
He's almost apologizing for the fact he likes Pokemon, which I think is quite funny.
Well, he's our age, right? So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like early 20s, mid 20s.
Considerably more successful.
Yeah, worse looking though, so it's fine.
There we go.
But he's our age.
Yes.
Pokemon he grew up with. He doesn't need to apologize to anyone. But not only has this man got them on his wall in a frame, they all look pretty mint. Like,
they're
I know that
lovely.
was only like a glimpse, but he's not going to have some like beat up cards
No.
there, is he?
No, I know. It's an interesting appreciation of the artwork.
Yeah.
I can't imagine he has the time to get them PSA graded. I would imagine he would just buy them PSA graded.
Or he could just literally just send them to PSA with, like the $5,000.
Yeah,
It's a 1-day turnaround.
I don't think it would matter.
Or
to
he'd
him.
just go, I'm Justin Bieber.
He could tweet PSA card and
Can
they'd
you-
quite
can you help
happily.
me?
Yeah, can you help me PSA card? Yeah, sure. Give us the. Oh, they're back at you already. So he's a huge name. There's not many bigger in the world of music.
No, for sure. Let's go back into the world of YouTube though.
Okay,
I'm feeling back into the world of YouTube. So if you hit my little react button over there, we've got
Our
Randolph.
good friend Randolph.
Yeah, and next to him is Logan Paul's former boxing competitor, the
Yes.
winner of the match as well.
Yes.
Just putting that out there. That's KSI. KSI is the biggest YouTuber from England. I know Felix lives here as well, PewDiePie, but KSI is the biggest name that
Yeah.
there is.
By the way, guys, Tom is definitely just doing this for me because I don't follow YouTube very much
Yeah.
at all. I'm not one of those YouTubers who I watch the Logan Paul cast. You're massive into it. You've been listening to it for a long time.
I've been here.
Yeah,
I've done my dues.
I literally set up a YouTube to show off my Pokemon cards, and it turned into this.
Yeah, but
so
JJ
this is-
has shown like no real interest in the past couple of years to stuff like
Okay.
Pokemon cards, and he is massive into Dragon Ball.
Okay,
And even
okay.
when they've opened Dragon Ball cards and stuff, he's like only half there. That's
I
changed.
remember that video.
though.
I remember that video when
It has
yeah.
changed. So we if we watch this now,
$1,000.
For the whole thing.
Whole thing, $1,000.
That's your final guess.
so he's talking about how much he
Okay,
thinks
I
Randolph's
think it's
binder
high,
was worth.
$5,000.
Skyridge.
$10,000.
Close now.
$10,000.
I paid 11.7 thousand. 12 grand for this set, pretty much.
Yo, let me see that Charles. no, bro. I just want to see.
Bro, the Charizard. So if I get a PSA.
So even there, like he's interested in Pokemon. Like everyone our age knows what a Charizard is. If you don't know what a Charizard is and you're in your mid-20s, you've lived under a rock.
Yeah,
And
that's a fact.
if you're watching this video and you don't know what a Charizard is, all right. Hello.
I think
Nice to meet
that's
you.
highly unlikely. Like,
But so he knows what the Charizard is. He knows that Charizard is the most famous Pokemon outside of like Pikachu. And he heard the value and he was like, "Yo, let me have a look."
It's interesting that it piques their interest when they hear the value. So let's just talk like this could be exactly the same set, Skyridge, and if it was worth £100, there wouldn't be any interest there. But as soon as he goes Charizard, the set's worth £12,000, then immediately it's like,
Ungraded.
whoa. Ungraded, yeah.
as well.
Immediately there's just like, what, really? Like you're talking about real cash
So
here.
how much could it be worth?
Yeah, you're talking about real cash, real money. And if people like KSI, Logan Paul, and Justin Bieber are even taking a faint interest in that money, then, people will follow, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And JJ's not the only one of the sidemen either.
Okay, so the Sidemen's like his little crew, yeah?
Yeah, it is. And you definitely do know that. That was playing ignorant there for the camera. I enjoy it. But Josh as well, Zerkaa, a very good friend again of Randolph. So we've got Randolph back on the screen. And Josh has...
bro.
That's a Crystal Nido King Hollow. and a crystal reverse golem.
You got some fire cards.
It's
there,
got
you some fire
the
cards.
reverse Charizard.
Yeah. We got to do a video, Josh, where I go through yours and then we send them to PSA and see what they.
See, look, they're talking immediately. I know Randolph is into PSA. We know that, but Josh is gassed here talking about his Pokemon cards.
His collection, yeah.
He's so excited.
They're not just like out in a stack of cards. They're well looked after. They're in a binder. They're in a sleeve. Like there's obviously been care placed into looking after the cards. And thanks, Randolph. We really do expect those cards to be coming through GradedGem. We haven't mentioned Randolph as much because he's like in it, isn't he?
Yeah, same reason we haven't mentioned like Leonhardt or Unlisted Leaf or Rhymestyle.
Yes,
any of those guys.
We're looking at people who are from the outside looking in and who are like kind of clawing their way in, I
Yeah,
guess.
like Randolph is helping bringing those people in. People like that, they're kind of the people that are bringing them in are people that are already connected to them.
Yeah, well, I think on the podcast we did with him, or he was here, I can't remember which one it was. Either way, we've
done a lot of videos from Randolph.
Yeah. Either way, we just said like he has made it acceptable and cool for a lot of people.
I mean, he's literally a rapper.
Yeah,
he's not a Pokemon gamer like he is now. But before that, he was. Well, he still is. He's dropping rap music.
It couldn't be more opposite.
But then again, you look at people like JME. And American viewers might not know so much about grime music. It's kind of like the hip hop of England, so to speak. But you've got people like JME and AJ Tracy and
live and direct. But
they release music that is related to Pokemon. It's either got names. You've got names like Alakazam, the very best, which is a literal Pokemon music video.
Reference straight.
And the chorus is the very best, like the Pokemon theme song. Like it's mainstream as hell.
Yeah, and I think we forget that a lot.
Yeah, because we're not gangster at all.
Yeah, but we forget how mainstream. I mean, Pokemon Go was an obvious show of how the Pokemon shop opened in London. There seems to be
the biggest media franchise in the world. We forget that.
And all the time, I kind of feel like collectors, all the time we're underrating the hobby. Yeah. All the time we're doubting it. All the time we're like, well, these prices shouldn't be this high. No. I certainly do. And I'm probably right. I think I was speaking the other day to Randolph, and he was dropping some prices on me, and I was like, "What, really?" And I couldn't believe
saying for a while, base set first edition will hit. Don't take this as advice. I think it will hit $1 million within the next 5 years.
Yeah, and actually, that's got a lot to do with this next guy. So this next guy, he is more of the investor. He has people who watch his show or whatever, particularly for investment purposes. So, I mean, I guess this was very interesting, guys, by the way. We haven't got any link to Pokemon Revolution. Yeah. But he did a great video with GaryVee. We're not going to watch all of it, but...
Good morning. Welcome to the Poke Cave.
Nick, I didn't even know you were the first guest, and you heard what I said to...
the first edition Charizard, PSA 10.
Hollow, Shadowless.
That's the king.
There's only, 121 of them in the world or something like that?
Gotta say, I really appreciate that. He's like, there's only like specific stat of those. Like he's like, just around about the exact number.
Yeah, but we all know that someone in particular has a massive interest in that card.
Yeah.
But if we just take out, so for that, there's 121 in the world, let's say. I mean, I don't know if there is right now. I might grade another one. My copy might come back, and I'm joking. But let's say
all of mine did.
Yes, Logan Paul. Let's say Logan Paul's like, okay, I want that card.
Yeah.
He buys it. GaryVee buys it. Justin Bieber buys it. And I know this is just not, it's not actually happening. But let's say
easily could.
Yeah, but let's say 100 millionaires come in and buy that card. What happens to that card?
And realistically, there might not be that many billionaires in the world, but there's a lot of millionaires.
Yes, there is.
And there's a lot of millionaires that are like our age, Silicon Valley type stuff. You've got the people just like a little bit older, like Mark Zuckerberg, people like that. They're literally like trillionaires. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I think you've got a lot of Instagram influencers.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of YouTube influencers.
You've
got tech people. Like you've got young industry is the way you call it. Young industry and Pokemon. If they're looking to part money somewhere, then why not graded Pokemon cards? I mean, they might see other areas of investment as less fun, stocks and shares. I mean, who cares? That's what I would say.
People who do it.
Yeah, but
not us. Not for fun as well. You don't get like... So, for example, some people will be like, oh, I'm going to invest in classic cars or antiques or something. But to us, why would someone our age care about antiques? We care about Pokemon.
Yeah, you have to have that interest. I mean, The reason why Pokemon's got interest is a factor of two, isn't it? It's a factor of being interested in Pokemon and then being interested in the investment side.
Yeah, for sure.
So they kind of marry together. If you've got a classical car and then $1 million, you're only interested in that from the investment side, so therefore you're not buying the car.
And you're not driving the car. I mean, admittedly, you're not driving a Pokemon card either, but you're having it on display.
Yeah.
Which is the primary purpose. Well, the primary purpose is gaming, but the primary purpose
But yeah.
the primary purpose of a PSA card
yes.
is to show it off.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
To have it on show, to display it.
Well, it's perfect for Instagram.
That's why they have little stands.
Yeah, it's absolutely perfect for Instagram. Like, it fits perfectly. And that's why you see so many of those people. It's going to be interesting to see if cards move from collectors to these influencers. Well, they already have. Logan Paul's dropped 60k, so some collector out there has
and that
gone,
was in one day, may we add?
Yeah.
That was one purchase. He said, "Oh yeah, they're arriving tomorrow."
What happens if he has a bit of a drunken binge and he decides to drop $1 million on it? Like that,
and he could.
That would affect the market to a point of no return.
Earlier in that video, he said his first ever year of merch sales, which was a couple of years ago now, just then he revenued 34 mil, right? Just from his merch.
Wow.
So we know he's got the money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Sure, like advertising stuff and whatnot, but JJ as well. We know JJ has a chain around his neck that's worth $500,000 of Beerus. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've all seen those videos, and those guys have got stupid money.
Yeah, for sure. And the big thing for these is they're getting views on YouTube. And if these are getting views,
AdSense.
How many times have we said it? Like, the reason why we put Hidden Fates in the title, Charizard in the title, is because you guys click it.
Well, it's the reason this video will be titled something like is Logan Paul good for Pokemon?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it'll get clicks.
And is it? The thing is, the thing is with Pokemon is you've got so many different scales. Joe put it down so well. He was like, well, if you can't afford the first edition PSA 10, you get the PSA 9. You can't afford that, then there's something else for you.
The unlimited,
Yeah, there's always somewhere to go. There's always somewhere at your price point, at a desirable price point. Modern seems to be taking up so much of that space at the moment. But the old school stuff...
And even then, though, that's a range.
Yes.
Hidden Fate Shiny Volt Charizard, might be out of your league if you're 13 years old. However, the Sylveon, get
that's well in your league. It's interesting with GaryVee as well. So obviously he's big on sports cards. Yeah. And sports cards are ridiculous.
Yeah, okay.
So we think Pokemon's ridiculous, but there are literally multi-million cards.
Yeah,
cards. So cards that sell for multi-millions, which is unheard of in Pokemon. I think that's fair to say. Even the most expensive, which many would argue, which many, this the Illustrator, many people argue, and then even like the big card, the Charizard base set first edition,
it's $75,000 ish.
Yeah, base set first edition at the moment seems to be on a march. Why is that? I would say because in sports you get the rookies, don't you?
Yep.
You get the initial release. That's your initial chase.
Yeah, like it's not even questionable. Rookie cards are the expensive ones.
Exactly. So what happens now is all of these people are going to go for base set, and then after this, they look at the other sets.
If I had to ask you, someone who doesn't follow the sport as much, name one basketballer. What is the card we see the most? Luka Doncic. Now, I'm pretty sure he's still a rookie.
Yeah. Okay.
Why are people grading him like non-stop? Because that's what sells.
Is he really just look?
I think he's like 2 years in now, but like it's so early. Like I think it was only 2018 that he was doing his RC cards.
It's when we see the soccer or football cards,
rookie cards.
It's always the youngsters, isn't it? Or Messi or Ronaldo.
Yeah,
it's
but
Kylian
Mbappe,
Mbappe, Greenwood. Yeah,
like old Messi and Ronaldo, like as in not old, like as in young.
Yeah, Messi when he was younger, Ronaldo when he was younger. Those
2005, 2006. Or David Beckham. We see David Beckham when he was bald.
Yes,
do you remember when David Beckham had a skinhead? I don't, but apparently that was a thing. I don't remember.
That was like Greece 2006. Yeah.
We've seen stuff like obviously you see stuff like if we're comparing it to football cards, we can see England World Cup 66 cards because we won.
Yeah,
we won the World Cup. Or if Germany won the World Cup in this year and you want that specific player because you followed the German team in that year, sure. Like,
but the question I would say, what is the antiques of this age? And what the two big things for us, I would say tech. So I would say people would buy the iPhone first generation sealed.
It's so expensive.
There we go. But then someone else, Pokemon cards. Like toys is huge. The amount of people
market is massive.
Yeah, the amount of people who buy the figures I mean, I've got Metal Gear Solid ones.
Yeah, I've been talking for a while. I really want to get boxed Beyblades.
Yep, there you go.
I want to get them. They're sick.
Are those the antiques of the future?
Well,
And
I mean, there are other things as well. Harry Potter books,
There you
comics,
go.
stuff
Yep.
like that. Well, to be fair, comics is probably older than our age as well. But
Yep.
the Harry Potter books is definitely probably up there. The first edition, stuff like that.
But
Those
if we
prints.
look at where comics are as well,
Comics are blooming expensive.
like then it's not a cheap hobby. Like
if you
for
buy an
anyone.
Action Comics #1, in good condition, then you're probably worth about, I don't know, 100 mil.
And that's the thing. WotC first edition cards are those. They're those the originals. They are the original cards that come out with the games that came out in 1999.
And
they
realistically,
are
they're
the
not very
rookies.
old.
Yes, they're not yet.
They're 20 years old.
Yeah.
That's not very old. We're talking about comics that came out in the 1930s. We're talking about sports cards that came out in the 1950s, 1960s. Those are the ones that are worth millions.
Yeah.
They're literally triple the age.
And the big thing is as well, with the first edition WotC cards, they've all got populations.
Yeah.
With PSA 10, so you can see publicly how many of them are available, and therefore you can work out the market cap from that.
Yeah.
I mean, if we use more investment terms, let's start Magneton first edition hollows worth $4,500. There's 45 of them times that. That's your market cap. That's how much. If you had that much money, you could drop on it and you could buy them all. In theory, that's not actually how it works. So that's the interesting thing. I'm seeing not many sales. I'm seeing less sales. I'm seeing more sales of PSA 9 first editions. I'm seeing less sales of PSA 10 first editions.
Yep.
I am seeing a trend toward I'm keeping my collection now for literally ever because these people have made it impossible to sell. Because what the hell is the price? What is the price?
$1 billion.
Yeah, I think unless you're in desperate need, you should just ride the roller coaster and see where it goes.
Well, I'd be confused at how to sell now. Never mind just how to price them, but do I sell say I've got base set first edition, right? Do I sell them individually anymore? Because that used to be the way you made money. But now people are coming in with no cards and stupid money. Do you sell them the whole set for a massive premium so they can have it in one go? Because they're paying for the convenience of buying the cards quicker because you can't get them anywhere else. It's so confusing.
It's also an odd hobby because if you were selling a 60 grand car, you would go around a showroom, you'd have a salesman, you'd have that whole thing. But if you're sending a 60 grand card, it's normally quite a simple transaction. But you're talking about tens of thousands of pounds.
I mean, it was only last year that Mr. J Swingler from TGF, guy close to my heart because he come from close where I grew up.
Yeah.
And he dropped over 50, 60k, something like that, on a base set first edition booster box. That's not even a guaranteed Charizard, guys.
No.
What the hell? These people are loaded.
Yeah, they're other levels of rich, and the thing is, that will push up everything because you got that limited supply of populations. You only
especially
need
of old stuff.
Yeah, you only need 5 or 10 of them to go. I want this, and they'll get it. If they want to hoover up every single Skyridge sealed box, they can.
Yep.
Right now, they can. As long as they can get the contacts, they could pay someone to find them. That's how, minted and rich these guys are.
And realistically, say your primes behind you. Say they're worth, let's put an arbitrary figure on it. Let's say they're worth $5 grand.
Okay. Well,
and then someone like Logan Paul comes up to you and he goes, I'll give you 100k for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you specifically would probably still say no because they're a prize piece, but 90% of people go, that's stupid money.
But the thing is, those are harder to acquire than the money.
Yeah.
The populations are less than 10 on some of them.
Say if you're on a job that is 24 grand a year, I think that's the average in the UK.
Yeah.
100 grand, that's 5 years of your working time there for just going, have them.
Yeah, it's very true. And I guess that's where we're coming to, isn't it? Is all of this extra? I would argue extra attention on the hobby is always good.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I would argue,
especially for us, because we grade your cards.
But I mean, you can talk about us as our subscriber count has doubled, and I know we're a lot smaller.
Over doubled.
Yeah, over doubled in the matter of months since COVID. And then on top of that, the grading submissions have gone into overdrive. I don't really want to put an arbitrary number on it. But they've gone into overdrive. And that's
you've seen by the hour and a half submission videos.
Yeah, well, in COVID, I think it's fair to say that we were worried about what the hell happens now.
Oh, literally at the start of COVID, me and Connor were sitting there going, PSA close. What do we do?
Yeah, like there was genuine worry from our side of our perspective. As I can imagine, there is genuine worry out there in the overall economy
And the real world, like normal people.
Yeah.
Never mind just like the economy. Like people just aren't thinking just about money. Like winter's coming.
Yeah.
People are worried, but Pokemon. The thing about Pokemon is Pokemon's not worried. Pokemon's like, everything's going up.
And it's interesting because that's something that you can keep hold of. That's something you can own, and you don't need to go outside for it. It can be posted to the convenience of your post box, and you get it directly.
I like that saying.
Yeah,
For the convenience of your post box.
I've got a personal post box. Well, actually, we do. But like, I where does it go is always going to be the question. And I think at the moment, many people would be tempted to sell. I think you wouldn't be human if you weren't tempted to sell. If you had these sort of collections.
Like, imagine anything else that you collected. Imagine you had anything in your collection. I don't care what you collect.
A light bulb.
Yeah. You're a light bulb collector or a stamp collector or
Go with that.
whatever. And someone offers you 50 times what it's worth. What it's like actually market worth. What you can sell it for today. Someone offers you 50 times for it. You're going to be tempted.
Well, yeah, but that's where the growth has. Even if so, let's say a year ago, a lot of collections have at least quadrupled.
Yeah,
that is right there. People are going to be like, well, it can't quadruple again, but I mean,
it might,
and I think
that's how these things work.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can know. The true value cannot be ascertained yet.
No.
I think we need to see more PSA returns. I mean, we'd love it, PSA. Come on. We want to see more PSA returns. We need to see how much the effect of the population was. I remember Neo Destiny, just after I completed my set, in 1 year, a load of the pops doubled and the price is basically halved. And everyone was like, well, that's a dead set. But it was still less than 60 population. And then a year on, the price is quadrupled.
Yeah.
For many other reasons. And it would be interesting to see, what is the real value of these cards? How do you buy them? How do you purchase them off, a random collector any day of the week? I'm finding it difficult, and I can imagine everyone else is.
And what is the effect of these big names?
Yeah. Well, it's not a fair game, is it, with them involved? I can't go out there. I can't go out there and buy Fossil First Edition holofoils and collect them one by one. I can't even go out there and buy EX Fire Red Leaf Green PSA 10s one by one because the Charizard, which I spent £300 on, or I can't remember how much, is now worth $2,500. But that means I can't buy the other ones.
Yeah, it means you can't collect the Blastoise and the Gengar. If anyone does have them for sale and wants to sell them for a reasonable price, please contact.
Reasonable price?
At GradedGem.
It's not going to happen.
Because people are currently like, well, I've seen it sell on eBay for this much, so I'm going to list it for double that.
It's difficult out there as a collector to pick up the cards you want.
If you want to sell to someone who will keep it in their collection forever.
Yeah, I will keep them in my collection forever. But that's why I'm having to go for Pokemon Advanced Action cards because no one cares about them.
Including PSA.
Including PSA. And that's difficult. Right now, if you want cards that people care about, you're having to go after the modern stuff. And we all know modern PSA 10s are the most, inconsistent, unknown territory there is to man. Some cards will balloon, and drop like a lead balloon.
Yeah.
And then others will go up a little bit, go down a little bit, up a little bit, and there won't be much potential.
You
there.
get some that absolutely firework off as well. But some that just go, we're starting at the PSA grading cost, and then, oh my god, it's expensive.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people are putting their money. But I think there's area. I still think there's opportunity in WotC. I look at my PSA 9 No Symbol Jungle. No Symbol Jungle set. I was thinking, that's not a bad price right now. I was looking at it going, that's not awful. I still think PSA 9 first editions are okay.
Well, they're literally called mint. Now, if you look for something on eBay, it doesn't have to be a card. Say you're looking for, I don't know, a table, right? And someone goes, it's mint condition. You go, oh, it's pretty much perfect then, right?
Yeah.
A mint 9 is still a mint condition card.
You know what holds back the mint is the PSA 9s is the populations because they're not real because people crack them. They don't get taken off the system, so they're not real populations. So the populations are actually a lot less than what you see on PSA's website, considerably less. And you have to kind of factor that in. But you can never really know.
There's something like 1 trillion dot magneton PSA 9s, right? I don't think that's accurate.
But you can't know.
No, no one can.
So you have to kind of price it into the card, and it's a bit of guessing, a bit of estimating. And whenever you're investing in anything, estimating is not really what you want to be doing.
No.
You want figures, you want facts, and you want to know, right, what's the annual return? What do they call it in property? It's like 7%.
What, your APR and stuff?
Yeah,
like that?
no, like return on investment.
Oh, your ROI.
Yeah, ROI.
Yeah.
So you get your ROI, and many people that's how investors think. That's how Gary Vee will think. That's how people following Gary Vee will think, and it's not necessarily how the big boys, the ones who've got ridiculous money, they don't really care.
There you go. How much is it?
If they
Here's a check.
Yeah, if they want it, they want it.
Yeah.
But other normal people or normal investors, they do have to think about that. And in the crazy world we live in, we've all seen that shares and stocks have risen by a ridiculous amount of money, even though the economy's on its last legs. It's not always making logical sense.
No. However, is it bringing in a new wave of people?
I hope so. Well, it is. There's no doubt about that.
Because like people who are like 14, 15, they're watching people like Logan Paul. They're watching people like KSI and Josh and stuff.
Yeah, and Randolph. Randolph's massive.
Yeah.
In terms of, especially for the influence for the UK.
Yeah, but all those people.
Yeah.
14, 15-year-old. Pokemon wasn't as big. Like, well, it was, but I mean, it was for people our age.
Yeah.
Like, not for babies. So did they grow up with it as much as we did? No.
No.
However, they're in that prime time now where we was playing the Pokemon games a lot and playing with Pokemon cards and all that stuff, and now they're seeing it.
Now they're seeing the potential.
Mm-hmm. They're like, oh wow, do I get some Pokemon cards graded? Yeah.
Well, we get that a lot when, especially, I mean, I don't want to use specific examples, but
No.
if there's teenagers who have like pulled the Charizard, they're interested in just grading that one card, which is absolutely fine.
Well,
we're more than happy to
we've had parents go, oh, this is my son and daughter's card.
Yeah, we've definitely seen that with Hidden Fates.
Yeah,
we've definitely seen with Hidden Fates, they pulled 10 GXs, and they're like, yeah, we don't want to get them all done, but there's a couple there. Give them a go, and we'll see how. Because even parents care about the value of these collectibles, and even parents
definitely care about it.
Yeah, if you put an Umbreon GX from a £3 pack you just bought for your kid, and the kid halves it, and that was a PSA 10, you
slap that kid.
You've just lost £88.
Yeah, and like I remember being a kid, and
I'm glad that's the case.
Yeah, just about. But like, if my mom would have bought me, so for example, for a really long time, I wanted the GameCube with the Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, the Zelda collection, right? If I could have said to my mom, look, if you buy me this, I can then sell the disc a year later and give you all your money back. Do you know what I mean? If I said to my mom, oh, buy me this £3 pack, and I can give you, like, if you buy me a few of these, I have a space for a month, buy me one a week, I can potentially give you like 40 quid back.
Yeah. It's a difficult one right now.
Teaching kids money management, stocks and shares, investing, like how to like control your own finances via Pokemon cards.
I mean, the sky's the limit right now for Pokemon. I think that's something you have to remember, and I think if these people can't make that sky a realistic goal, then I don't think anyone can. I think the fact you've got a name, as Logan Paul saying, is obsessed. You've got KSI shouting Charizard in Randolph's face.
Give me that Charizard!
You've got Randolph, loving the Pokemon YouTube. You've got Gary Vee going from sports cards, and he's like, oh, wow, I'm interested in Pokemon. It's all about knowledge, like investment side. You've got these people talking openly about it, which was not the case 2 years ago. And I think when Joe was here also, he made a very good point, which I agreed with. We did not talk about pricing. When I opened a jungle pack, I wasn't going, oh, wow, I just pulled the Flareon first edition. That's worth £40. So, of course you didn't. You didn't. Whereas with Hidden Fates, people are.
Yeah.
And that's bringing in new interest, new investment appeal, new collectors, and new PSA submissions.
Yeah. I mean, it's mental.
Yeah. But it's overly positive. I couldn't see anywhere better for people's eyes to be. I think it's really cool, actually. Like, we're openly accepting PSA 10 first editions. I never dreamt 43 years ago.
43 years
3 to 4
ago.
years ago, I never dreamt that these people would even give a little bit a damn. Yeah. A little bit. But now we've got people openly talking about it. I was collecting them because they were shiny and they were first edition and they were a little bit desirable.
Well, the stupid stuff as well. Like in the video with JJ, with KSI, he kisses a Leddybat and it's like, oh, you can get the one sold for even more now because I've kissed it. But like Logan Paul's massively into Squirtle. he gets a PSA 10 Squirtle first edition, right?
Yeah.
He signs that card. Does that sell for more than the PSA 10 Squirtle first edition normally?
Yeah.
It's blooming potential, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I
sure.
mean?
Hopefully
These
not
guys.
the base set.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He could sign it. Like, maybe not the card, but the PSA stuff.
Okay, yeah.
Like, or something. He signs that. Like Randolph does.
Yeah.
Like, he could do that. He could buy those Squirtle first edition PSA 10s.
Yeah.
He could sell those with his signature on. And do you know what? He could do some dumb stuff like put lipstick on and kiss it, because that's the kind of world we live in. That's what influencers do. Influencers will literally sell bathwater. That's happened.
Yeah.
And we buy it because they're the people. Not we don't buy bathwater, but we buy Pokemon cards. Like, do you know what I mean? We are interested in these people. We will buy their merch. We will, as I said earlier, $34 million on merch sales in a year. So you equate Pokemon, which already has the high value, into those kind of values, and you're like, okay, where is the limit? Like, how much will I spend? Will I spend more on a card if it has Justin Bieber's signature? Yeah, I will.
Yeah, and if this marriage between influencers and Pokemon becomes more robust, and we have more people talking about Pokemon cards openly, and we have people doing those sorts of things, if we have more celebrities or influencers grading their cards, I mean, you just have to look at the effect Randolph has had. Then, you know, you could see that even the fact that Poke Revolution, who is major influence within our hobby, which I think is very fair to say, has gone on a sub-channel of 2.86 million. With garyvee, who's all about investment. The amount of people who watch him to gather advice on where they should be putting their money, if he says that, you know, base set first edition is somewhere you should be looking at, then people are going to listen.
Everyone's eyes are on it.
I would be interested to know what his position is, garyvee's, because he hasn't got a position. Not like some of the other bigger people in the hobby. Like, I'm sure he's got a cooler card collection than... Well, he definitely has a cooler card collection. But I mean, Pokemon card. He'll have a bigger Pokemon card collection than mine.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to know how big it is. And whether a year ago, before COVID hit, he was... Or maybe this is just views and ad for him. I wonder what his position is, though. Is his position, early in this year, he went out and bought one first edition PSA 10 set of each one, and just kept it, or maybe he bought a load of booster boxes. What's his position? What's his interest in people in the prices rising like they are because of his commentary?
Yeah,
I wonder what is like. I get it in sports cards.
Yeah,
he's obviously got a position.
Like, another name we haven't talked about really is Scott SM Pratt, right?
Yes.
So he does this. Like, garyvee is kind of come into the space where Scott is the most known person. He's probably the biggest
within
influencer,
the hobby,
right?
Yeah, within the hobby.
So all of a sudden, if you've got another Scott talking about it, like if garyvee is another Scott in terms of how to invest in Pokemon cards, what Pokemon cards are worth, all of a sudden, all that is another point of reference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If Scott says something's expensive and Gary says the same thing's expensive, it's expensive.
Yeah, so those guys were like the leaders of the hobby for so long. And I think he said it on a video recently quite well himself. He said it's too big now for him or anyone else to individually have that much say on it, which I think's interesting.
Well, look at what we do.
Yeah, I mean we're chatting awful crap, and you guys listen to it, and you know. But it's interesting that he would say that, because I think a year ago, whenever he said something.
It was law.
It was. Whereas now it's not, and that's not because his voice has been lessened. It's because it's been diluted a bit. It's because you've poured in a lot of other influencers who are interested in the scene, and therefore there's dilution going on. It doesn't mean his voice is any less important. And actually, I would very much suggest you go and follow it. We do actually have a link, because he speaks very, very well about how the hobby evolves, and there's no one else who's been in it as long as he has.
Like, if you look at just influencers in the scene, you've got us, obviously. You've got Jake and Rafi.
Yeah,
like,
Jake and Rafi's very
you've
good.
got Scott.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of people that talk a lot about this
You've
stuff.
got people who are like right at the top, like your garyvee, your Logan Paul, people like that. They're like influencers regardless of what they're talking about.
They are just influencers.
Yeah, and then you've got people within the hobby who are influencers. You got Poke Rev, you got SM Pratt, you've got those sort of people, and then you've got people like us who are just commentating almost on all of it. Which is GradedGem, Jake and Rafi and stuff like that. I ran off Pokemon obviously with the SM Pratt stuff. So like it's interesting to see that more and more voices are being put in the pot, more and more dilutions going on. But that means there is more and more knowledge out there for you guys to pick on. A more reference. Yes, very good. Anyway, I think that was an interesting video. It's different.
Yeah, it's definitely a different video. Let us know if there's more stuff you'd like us to react to in the future, as well as what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to know.
Yeah, because we can't tell you because it's in the future.
Yeah, it's very true.
It's all future
Tell us
stuff.
what's going to happen in a year's time to Pokemon cards in general.
And then remind us in a year's time via messaging us to come and look at the comments.
Yeah, you know my old investment videos?
Yeah.
You get a comment like every 2 months going like, oh yeah, you were totally right about this. It gratifies me a bit. So, I mean, if you can do that to this one and that we were totally correct, that'd be amazing as well. So if you are watching then, congrats and subscribe, like and do all that stuff. I think it's going to be moving on to me talking directly to the camera now, so enjoy the update. Bye guys. Hi guys, welcome to the update. I hope you really enjoyed the video. It was a very interesting one for myself and Tom. So basically, as you probably noticed, we didn't upload too much on YouTube last week, but that's fine. Basically, we had a little bit of hiatus. I hope I'm saying that correctly. We're just working on progress and growth, and I think we kind of was like, right, let's get some things done, and we did, which is always good to say. I was also off for half the week before that because it was my dad's birthday, so I was just playing a little bit of catch up there. July submissions. So there are 2 videos yet to go up. We are very well aware of that. They are obviously shot and your cards are obviously at PSA. It's the editing that takes the time, unfortunately, guys. Just with the amount of submissions we had. We've also decided from this to change the way these are shot. So they will be exactly the same, I guess, edited and uploaded. So now August will be mega submission videos. Because, it's not fair for you guys to be waiting a month to see your cards on the submission video, even if your cards have already gone. I mean, we totally agree with you there. So August submissions, they are just going to be massive, guys. That you're going to be talking potentially 4 to 6 hour videos, maybe 2, maybe 3. We'll see how it goes. It might be a mix between myself and Tom. I'm jumping in on one lot, and then Tom jumps in on the next lot. So we'll see how that goes. Next, we are not giving out individual updates. At the moment, it's just too much in terms of the communications. We can't update everyone individually on everything. We will just reference the order updates page. I totally understand that hasn't been updated to its fullest, but there's not much to report. There's no May submissions back. We're hoping they're going to start trickling back at the end of this month, but we're just going to have to wait and see. Sports card submissions are taking a ridiculous amount of time. Specials are taking a ridiculous amount of time, and we're fully aware of that. I guess the way we're trying to do it is we're just trying to get through these delays as fast as possible, but we have to recognize delays are there. The pandemic has created a massive increase in demand for PSA services, and I'm going to turn my fingers around there. And 2, they were closed for a month, so they had all that backlog to get through anyway. So it was kind of like a perfect storm. And I know that it's now September and we're still talking about that, but it's just meant PSA have had to catch up. However, better news. PSA are hiring people. We get the dealer newsletter. We know they're hiring people. We know they're increasing capacity. And I'm really hoping that we really start to see a lot of returns coming back as soon as possible. Obviously, that's what we want at GradedGem. We don't want, cards just chilling out at PSA. We also now have a step-by-step guide for you new submitters who, you might not know exactly what you're doing. So that's fine. We now have step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. I think it goes down to 7 steps, just issuing what you should do. And we have also created a submission slip. So previously we had a submission form. It's now a submission slip for Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Just anything non-sports, basically. You can just fill out the submission slip and enclose it with your submission. Even better, you can email it as well. But please make sure to put identifying information within your package. Last but not least, we have expanded our team. And one of those expansions is Victoria. Victoria does have an email. That's victoria@gradedgem.com. Victoria will be doing a lot of the customer service. It's too much for me to do, especially with all the other stuff I need to do to make sure your cards get out to you as quickly as possible for returns and out to PSA as quickly as possible for submission. So victoria@gradedgem.com. That will be from Monday to Friday, normally 9 till 3. But, I mean, there will be other hours of operation as well. And Victoria will also be answering your questions on the Facebook. So don't be too concerned. If there is, a question you need to ask us directly, then you can still reach me at Connor@GradedGem.com or even Tom@GradedGem.com. Go and annoy him. That's always fun. But anyway, guys, that is the update video. And yeah, there's hopefully going to be more things to report next month. We understand there could be some frustration from some quarters, but we are doing our best to, get around the delays and get the cards out to you as quickly as possible. We got exciting things to come as well. I'm really looking forward to doing this video in 2 months' time, knowing what I know. And last but not least, I just want to say thank you, guys, for all your support, your submissions, your nice, kind words, and watching the YouTube videos. It means a lot to us here at GradedGem. So I'll see you soon. And if you did get here, then go watch the trading card talk. And if you did watch trading card talk, and then you watch this, then you should be subscribed. There's no excuses, really, is there? See you soon.